right, okay. What's up, good people? It's your boy Maine, aka JP, or just whatever you want to call me. Welcome to episode 2 of Unapologetic, where we're going to get into some questions, where we're going to help you get culturally conscious. We're going to educate you on some things, and we're going to get deep inside these questions. Today we got another special guest, Miss Kiara Taylor. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. You?
I'm all right. And she's hailing from the great city of Detroit, Michigan. You know, I'm gonna ask a quick question, real quick. So the difference between African Americans in Detroit and Midland, we're gonna dive into it real quick. Like, is there a difference in between way up north and then down south? Is there a difference that you see?
I think there's a big difference between African Americans in Detroit and Midland. Just a difference of the ruggedness of a person. When you come from a place where you have to learn how to fight at a young age, or you have to, the schools aren't as great, or we don't have as much extracurricular activities for kids after school. You used to be hanging out on the streets with your friends, and so you just learn a different lifestyle than you do here. And even the adults, I was about to say they're not as black, but I'm not gonna say that. But there's just a difference in, like I said, the ruggedness of a person and the different. You think you have a perception of what it is to be culturally black, but it's different when you look at where people are from. It's just the environment that you were raised in. You can't really change that because that molds you as a person, and so it's different though.
Yeah, well, like I said, I wanted to hop right in there. That was, we were supposed to say something else first, just real quick. So Unapologetic is supposed to lead up to Unapologetically Black. It's going to be an awesome weekend. It's a celebration of black art and black culture happening February 24th through 26th right here in Midland, Texas. It's going to be at the PAC Center. You're going to see the website flash across the screen probably a couple times during this video. So go check it out. So as I said, the program is called Unapologetically Black. Mm-hmm. So that phrase, of course, is from Langston Hughes' essay. Mm-hmm. To you, because it seems like it means different things to different people. To you, what does unapologetically black? When you hear that, what goes through your mind to you?
The first thing that comes to mind is just not to forget who you are as a person. Because being black means a lot of things to different people. Like I said before, the environment that you grew up in is totally different than somebody else. Somebody may have been afforded the opportunities to go to an Ivy League school, and then you have someone that goes to a regular public school, But to me, it just means understanding that, one, you are black, because sometimes some people, if, like I said, people from Ivy League schools, they have a straight shot to certain things, or because they're afforded different opportunities, sometimes they don't come across those issues that people that are in different situations, they're affected differently. And so I just think it means being who you are and understanding your roots and knowing your history, because a lot of times if you don't know where you're from, or you don't understand slavery, or you try to neglect that aspect of who you are as a black person, or Jim Crow, or even now today when we have to defend ourselves as far as these racial shootings between police officers and people saying, oh no, Black Lives Matter, and stop black on black crime, things like that. You have to stop and take a second and actually think about your stance as a person in this situation, because like I said before, it's different for everybody. And say, what does this mean to me? Who am I in this situation? How is this affecting me as a black person? And whatever that is for you, you act on that. You can't change your perception because of what somebody else thinks. You can't change how you feel. I know everybody's gonna be like, shoot her down for saying this, but if you believe like with the whole Trump thing, if that's what you think is right, if you feel that Trump is supposed to be president, shame on you. But if you feel Trump is supposed to be president, then you rock with that. If you have ground or a foundation to stand upon with that stance, then you stand on that. Whatever it is that you feel it is for you, you walk that lifestyle as a black person. You can't focus on other people. That's what it means.
Hey, that's awesome, because that's right along with what Langston was talking about. What he was talking about, there's an artist that that was like, I just want to be an artist instead of a black artist. And he would say, hey, be proud of who you are. They're going to love you no matter what, whether they're white, whether they're Hispanic, no matter what color they are. If you, and be proud, and they're going to love you. So, of course, some people's going to hate you, but be proud of it anyway.
If you're doing something worth something, they're going to hate you.
That's for sure. Yeah, all right. Well, let's get into the next question. Next question is about social media. You work with kids, so you kind of seen that, where they're deep into social media type things. And one of their favorite websites that I'm always shown is WorldStar. Even though WorldStar, and it's, rest in peace to the founder, I believe he just passed away just either a week or so ago. And it was a black man that founded it, so it was awesome that he founded it. But the question is what it has become. And I'll even take it a step further, like even like BET or shows like that where they say, or that's meant for black people, supposedly. Like, are those helping as far as the black community, or do you think that they're actually hurting? Like, what's your take on those?
Okay, I kind of have two stances on that. I haven't chosen or made up my mind yet. But one, I think that I do believe that World Star Hip Hop, what it has become now, is not helpful to the black community because for the most part, they have music videos on there. Okay, that's great. Promote your music, do all that. That part is great. As far as I hate fight videos, that's just not one, and probably because of where I grew up. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is not no joke. That's not nothing you just watch on TV. Like, you have to. I've been there before. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been the person that's holding the camera. I've been on both sides, you know? And so you just have to, I don't like fight videos because of the portrayal of what it has for black men or black women in general. I don't like that aspect, and how like the World Star Hip Hop, how they portray females on there, how they have, I would like to, I don't know if they call them Shorty of the Week, but I just made that up. I'm sorry, that was funny. Okay, but like, you know how they had a Girl of the Week, and she's just exposing herself, and that just goes into how women are viewed, you know? It just lessens the value of a person when that's all they have to show, you know? But at the same time, I think it's awesome to have things that are just for black people, because a lot of times we get overlooked, and a lot of times we have people that know nothing about our lifestyle trying to portray things for us, you know? And so whenever we can take something of our own and say, this is where I grew up, this is how I live, this is my view, it's always great to see that, because we can finally see what a black person is actually thinking, you know? When I say like, when black people take it, I mean like founded it, actually recording it, you know, doing it from the ground up, not like depending on somebody else to pave a way for you. I really like when we take the initiative and to start things on our own, because we can say this was us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to depend on anybody, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't, please, because anybody help me on to come up, I'm grabbing it, you know, because, you know, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, but, you know, just taking that for yourself and saying, "This, I did this for my people," you know. So I have to.
All right. Well, so I'm actually gonna go a little further. I know that was more about the media and social sites. And you mentioned this earlier, which is why I'm kind of bringing it back into this question. So things that like that we started up, like Black Lives Matter. Do you think, are those helpful these days? Like, do you think the actual not the idea, but the organization of them. Like, do you think that organization of Black Lives Matter is helping, or do you think that it's counterintuitive?
Again, I have two stances. I think it's awesome, because Black lives do matter, and we don't say it enough, you know, and we don't act like it enough as black people, you know. Case in point, black on black crime. Not saying that you can prevent it or anything, but, you know, just that, like, we have to be careful and mindful of what we do. That's anybody. You can't just be out there acting wild. But back to the question at hand. I think that it is great. It's awesome. Stand for what you believe in, because black lives do matter. The way they're killing these boys nowadays is just terrible, and nobody should have to deal with that that hurt and that pain. You know, it hurts people that's just like I can't. What was the guy's name? The older guy that was that kind of had him in a chokehold. I really want to remember his name. I feel bad, but when I saw that video, the first thing that came to my mind was my dad. Like, him and my dad were around the same age. Not saying that my dad kind of like hangs out around stores or anything, but my dad goes to stores. You see what I'm saying? And my dad's walking out at any given time. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. And so when I saw that, it hurt me. And I can only imagine how his family felt. But back to the question, I think that this generation now, some of them, they don't care about what the actual cause is for. They just want to be a part of something. Mm-hmm. And so that's when you get the people that's out there being ignorant and breaking stuff and rioting and not really doing just the protesting aspect of it. They just want to break stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm mad and It's ways to act out your anger legally. You know what I'm saying? And so I have two stands on it. I think it's great. It's awesome. Go for it. If that's what you want to do, you want to protest, that's the aspect or the route that you want to take, do it. But do it with grace and elegance and class, you know?
Oh, yeah. So. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. That's awesome. I was trying to think the guy's name, Tip the Tongue type thing.
I know.
It's like any other time, like, I'll be like, I know that. And
I mean, it's not great.
It's probably going to come to it for the end of this.
I know.
For the end of this. But yeah. So, Black Lives Matter. Always kind of the phrase itself, and like I said, I'm with you on, like, I think young kids kind of, they just want to be like, they see their parents or something in the 60s and like they see their movement, they're like, well, I want to define myself that way. And it's like, well, you guys should know, get deep into what they're doing. Don't just look at what the video showed and actually see how they did the research, see how they really fought, how you actually get in there. And so the phrase, but I love the phrase of Black Lives Matter, I think should go further than, I guess, what we kind of always put it like. We always put it as just with the young boys dying and stuff. We always thought Black Lives Matter should also go deep into, like, with the ladies and the young girls. And so there's the next question goes with young girls. The definition of American beauty really isn't directed toward them, though it's getting better, but it's still very visible. Like toys that they have, really, the toys that they'll be like, this is beauty, like, really isn't toward them. Like I said, they're getting a whole lot better because they got some black Barbies and some Moana and stuff like that, you know.
Hair.
Yeah, and so they have a little more ethnicity when it comes to dolls, but it's still overall not the same. Especially on TV, like, they'll see something and it's not directed toward them. Yeah. So, what is one way that you think that we can instill in them that they are beautiful in spite of what the rest of the U.S. says they're beautiful and that they're queens? Like, what is something that we can do as a black community that could help them?
I believe that first, if you are a black woman and you feel beautiful and you love yourself, it's only right that you teach any other black woman, or you encourage any other black woman that's around you, or any child that's around you. You just lift them up any chance you get. And I was telling you before, I was actually talking to somebody about this today. There's this little girl at my church, and she is just the cutest thing ever. And she has this deep chocolate skin, and I love it. Like, she's just so beautiful. And so every time I see her, I'm like, hey, pretty girl. Like, any chance I get, I'm calling her beautiful. I'm calling her gorgeous, or just lifting her up or telling her that she's smart. And then again, her mom reinforces that as well. But then on the other hand, I remember I was in a store here, a hair store, and there was this little girl. She was playing in the mirror, and her mom were just kind of playing peekaboo in the mirror, and her mom stopped to talk, and the little girl did it again by herself, like, because she was just playing. It's repetitive. Right. That's what kids do. Well, her mom would just put her down and was like, you think you cute, like, you get out the mirror, right? And so I'm like, I'm standing a lie, because anybody that know me know I don't play that. And so I'm like, even though she's not my child, but I'm like, are you serious? Like, so I walked over to the little girl. Probably shouldn't do that, but I did. Detroit. Anyway. But I walked over to the little girl, and I was like, sweetheart, you're gorgeous, and don't let anybody tell you any different. And I think that her mom kind of looked at me like I was crazy, which probably am. But, you know, I think that hearing that from her mom can tear down her self-esteem. And a lot of people that see this may not be spiritual or may not believe, but Satan also hears it, and he can expound on that. You have to be careful what you say. Life and death lies in the power of your tongue, and you have to be careful what you put out there, because that child may remember that, especially coming from her mother. And so back to the question, I think in America, blonde hair, blue eyes, or fair skin, or even in the black community, we can't even, look at each other without saying, oh, she light skinned, got long hair, she cute. And as I said before, a way we can fix that is to nip it in the bud right when we hear it. Anybody I know, they know me. Look, everybody on my team is hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody. I just don't believe in that hate or that shade that people throw constantly. As far as women, we have to uplift each other and tell each other you're beautiful. And this is not, I probably shouldn't say this. Anyway.
I was gonna say,
but even if you look at somebody and you don't think they're physically beautiful in appearance, it ain't your place. You know what I'm saying? To say anything like that to somebody or tell them that they're ugly, because that makes you ugly on the inside. And as far as I'm concerned, if you ugly on the inside, you're not cute at all. And so I just think we just have to uplift each other, and any chance we get, you said I work with kids, but I love working with young girls because I know what that's like. I'm dark skinned. I know what that's like for somebody to be like, hey, blackie, or to constantly tell you something about your skin. And I grew up with that struggle. And so it just took me looking in the mirror at myself and saying, who cares? People always gonna have something to say, regardless if you light skinned, you're dark skinned, your hair's short, your hair is long, you're fat, you're skinny. Somebody's going to say something, but you have to take it upon yourself to say, I love me. This is what I got. Let me work with it, and then to teach that to anybody that's around you as well. And it just all stems from confidence. If people see you walking with a confidence, they'll wonder, what is it about that person, and by just sharing love with people and always constantly just being nice, and, it just stems from that. Just being a decent person goes a long way. A decent human being. But yeah, just teach those girls to love themselves. That's what they got. You know what I'm saying? Beautifully and fearfully and wonderfully made. That's what they got. Teach them to work with it.
That's awesome. I think that also goes back to the World Star thing where you said they had the shorty of the week or whatever they have, where like the young man points out a certain thing and it's beauty to them, but it's always something, like in my eyes, just as a man, it's always something that's like somebody half naked or somebody that's doing something they shouldn't be doing, and it's the guys over talking about, oh, this is what beauty is. And so I'm with you on that, and I think it should step over to the parents and even men to stop treating ladies that way, like especially ladies of our color. I think we a lot of times put each other down, and we shouldn't be. So I'm definitely with it. We need to be nice people.